Hello, you fantastic humans. Let's go into today's notes by starting with some vocabulary that I know we have been missing just because I haven't made the past ed puzzles. So, today we're going to focus on the purple, but if you haven't filled in, go ahead and fill in now. You can pause. But we're looking at number 4, line of reflection, which is a line that a figure is flipped across to create a mirror image. Line of reflection is where is the figure flipped across. Easy. It's going to be your x-axis or your y-axis. We're also talking about reflections. Number 6, a transformation of a figure that flips the figure across a line. Again, either the x-axis or the y-axis. That's actually it for vocab because we're just talking about reflections today. So let's go ahead and get to today's notes, which is page 6, reflections on a coordinate plane. A reflection flips a figure over a line of reflection in order to create a mirror image. You already know this. Each reflected point of the figure should be the same distance from the line of reflection, but on the opposite side. So here I have two faces. Clearly, this winky face guy, the first one, he is going over the x-axis, right? Do you see how he's over the x-axis? And the other one clearly is over the y-axis, right? Now, if we do over the x-axis, which is the first smiley face, reflection over the x-axis, algebraically, it'll look like x comma negative y, which is basically the x stays the same, but the y becomes the opposite. So if you flip over the x-axis, opposite of the y, which if this doesn't make sense yet, give it a second. Reflection over the y-axis, find the opposite of the x. The x becomes the opposite, the y stays the same. So again, if it doesn't make sense yet, it's all good because we're about to get into it. If you reflect over the x, find the opposite of the y. If you reflect over the y, find the opposite of the x. So Bella thinks the transformation below represents a translation. Is she correct? Why or why not? I'm going to say no, because the orientation changed, meaning it was G-H-I-J. Now it is J-I-H-G. It's been flipped. So we're going to practice these rules. Opposite of the y, opposite of the x. If I reflect over the x-axis, I'm finding the opposite of the y. So I'm going to take order pair A, 6, 8, but I'm finding the opposite of 8, which is negative 8. That's it. If I reflect 6, 8 over the x, over the y, I'm going to find the opposite of the x, so negative 6, 8. Do we see? I feel like this is easy. If you reflect over the x, opposite of the y. So instead of negative 5, 1, it's now negative 5, negative 1. Reflect over the y-axis, meaning opposite of the x. Instead of negative 5, 1, it's going to be 5, 1. And then we can do that for all of them. If I reflect over the x, I'm finding the opposite of the y. So instead of 10, negative 9, it's 10, 9. Instead of 10, negative 9, it's negative 10, negative 9. Right? I'm just finding the opposite depending on what I'm reflecting across. So negative 4 becomes, negative 11 becomes 11. And then 12 becomes negative 12. Negative 4 becomes positive 4, and then negative 11 stays the same. 7 becomes negative 7, and 12 stays the same. Easy. Now we're going to practice it with actual images. So this triangle is to be reflected across the y. So what are we taking the opposite of? Yup, the x. Easy peasy. So I'm actually going to pull out these ordered pairs, and by pull out, I mean not really. I'm just going to write them down. A is at negative 3, 6. So if I'm going across the y, I'm finding the opposite of the x, which means 3, 6. A prime. B is at what? We're going to say basically 1, 0, kind of. So we're going to go negative 1, 0. and call that B prime. Lastly, C is at negative 6-ish, we're going to say, negative 6, 4. And I want positive 6, 4. There we go. And we're going to call that C prime. There we go. C prime. Positive 6, 4. All right, so I can clearly see that my triangle has been reflected across the y-axis. Now going through which statement is true about the image. A, the image will have the same orientation as the pre-image. Well, that's not true. It's literally the opposite orientation. The image will be the same size as the pre-image. Well, I do know that that is true, but let's keep going. The image will not be the same size. Well, that's a lie. Yes, it is. The image will be located entirely in quadrant 1. Well, that's also a lie because it obviously is not. Boom, done. The image will be the same size. I feel like that's simple. Cool. Next page. Let's get to practice even more so I can show you how easy this is. We're going to reflect the figure shown across the y-axis, which means opposite x, right? Negative x comma y. So I've already pulled off these 3 ordered pairs, w, x, and y. I'm literally just going to find the opposite of each of the x values. So negative 2, 6, negative 7, 4, negative 2, 2, and then plot them. So negative 2, 6, negative 7, 4, and negative 2, 2. Boom shakalaka. We've got w prime, y prime, x prime. Describe any patterns you found in the ordered pairs. Well, found opposite x, same y, which means we're doing negative x comma y because that negative in front of the x just means the opposites. We should know that by now. Cool. I'm actually going to let you guys try your hand at this one because it's that easy. We're reflecting across the x-axis, which means opposite y. Go ahead and try your hand at it. Willing to bet you can do it. Willing to bet it's easy. All right. I feel like that's easy. And I feel like you guys actually already know how to do this. So go ahead and try the last one. You know what? I lied. Let's just do this together. Why not? If I'm reflecting over the y, what does that mean? Yes, boom shakalaka, opposite x. So instead of negative 7, I'm doing positive 7, 2. Instead of negative 5, positive 5, 7. And instead of negative 2, it's going to be positive 2, 2. Right? So those are now my new primes. I'm reflecting over the y-axis, so all of this should be in the first quadrant. 7, 2, got it. 5, 7, got it. And 2, 2, got it. All right, and this is P prime, R prime, and Q prime. All right, now I'm reflecting your new triangle, P prime, Q prime, R prime, over the x-axis, which means opposite of the y. So I'm actually just going to copy and paste. I take that back because I can do that. Maybe you guys should probably write. Copy, paste. And then I have a new set of P, Q, R. Honestly, guys, I don't know if it's prime. That's just what I'm putting because I don't know for sure. But since it's over the x-axis, it should be in quadrant 4. And I am doing the opposite of the y. So 7, negative 2. 5, negative 7. 2, negative 2. All right, so 7, negative 2. Got you, P prime prime. 5, negative 7. Got you, Q prime prime. And 2, negative 2. Last one, R prime prime. Again, I don't know if that's what they're called. That's just what I'm calling them. Should probably look that up. But there we have it. That's it. Reflections are easy, y'all. If it's over the y, opposite of the x. If it's over the x, opposite of the y. Can't stress that enough. I feel like it's plain and simple. Cool. If you have questions, ask your teacher. That's like our job. Okay, bye.